I don't know what happens with those who are living in the diaspora. They are so kind, especially to their families, to their relatives, to their communities, and even to their friends. But they don't always get that same kindness in return. I don't know why. But to my own understanding, I think it's because people, they always expect much from them. They think they've got money always, that they don't even face challenges. They also think they don't even work hard enough for their money. They think it just falls from the tree. This kind of expectation has caused those who are living in the diaspora to, number one, get into depression, commit suicide, and also face a lot of challenges. And even some, they're actually thinking of disconnecting from their families, living their own lives. That's why you see that most of the people who are moving from the diaspora and trying to build this side back home, they're trying to build very, very, very far away from their own relatives. Hi guys, my name is Tarimak, and if you are coming here for the first time, thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot to me, and I really appreciate all the support that you continue to give me. Don't forget to like also, don't forget to comment and share the video. It helps this channel a lot. And I just want to appreciate you all guys for the 20,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. It was not going to be possible if it was not for the support that you are always giving me. I really appreciate. So before I get into the story of today, I just want to give you a quick update of the lady that I talked about in our previous video, who was living in the diaspora, sending money back home to her brother, with the good faith that the brother was going to help her acquire land and also build a house for her. Remember, I mentioned that this was her second project that she was working on, and the first one, it was a success because she was doing that all alone. But for the second project, she was not able to do it alone because of the shifts that she was now doing in order for her to be financially stable. So the brother and her mother, they took advantage of that and started diverting the funds to their own use, bought their own stand, started building for themselves, and when she returned, it was nothing for her. So the good news is we actually got some lawyers who were actually interested in helping this lady. And not only the lawyers, there are so many people who came forward wanting to help this lady. It's unfortunate that some of the people, she said she didn't want to talk to them at that particular time because she felt she just wanted her own time alone. And I believe when the time is right, she's going to talk to some of the people we had requested to talk to her. But right now, the issue as we are speaking, it's actually before the courts, and we believe there's going to be something that is really positive that is going to come out of that story. So guys, let's just keep our fingers crossed, and we are just hoping for the best. So after I did that video of the lady, there are so many people who came forward with their stories, and I just thought it's high time that we have to talk about these stories that are happening to those brothers of ours, sisters, mothers, fathers who are in the diaspora, who are facing something similar to that. So the story that I want to start by sharing today is of my brother who is living in the UK, and who has been living there for quite some time now. So after I saw the story, he just said, I just felt I need to share my story, especially those who are married, who moved in the UK, leaving their families behind, those who moved in the UK, trusting their friends behind, and some of the disappointments that they faced along the way. So in today's video, guys, the brother of mine, like I mentioned, he's living in the diaspora, living in the UK, and he moved there alone. He left his family behind, the wife and also his children. So he said that when he moved to the UK, it was around 2007, 2008, around that time. And he was working here in Zimbabwe, a job that is not really paying. He didn't want to disclose the kind of job that he was working here, but he just said the salary that he was getting, it was nothing, it was meaningless. So he sourced some funds from his relatives who assisted him, believing that it was actually a breakthrough for him. So he moved to the United Kingdom and started working there. And remember, I said he left his family behind. The main reason why he left his family behind is because he thought if he moves to the UK with the family and the kids, it was going to be difficult. Remember, the money that he used, he was given by relatives, and also the kids, the side they were going to school. So for him to change them at that time, it was really a struggle. And I believe everyone knows what was happening around 2007, 2008. It was a difficult time for Zimbabweans. Remember the inflation, hyperinflation, remember the drought. And for us who were living in Gutu, we were actually surviving on wild fruits. We were actually surviving on wild fruits, matamba, matamba and chakata. We could make jam from chakata. I'm sure you know that fruit. So he was working a job that was paying well for him. So he started doing he started working my shifts at one day, so as to have enough money to start doing projects back home. So I had forgotten this part. He said when he moved to the UK, the wife was complaining, Kuti, how can you move to the UK leaving me behind with the family? How do you want us to survive? How do you want us to do everything here? Remember, look at how the economy is. Look at how the situation is here in Zimbabwe. But the husband just said, I'm not going to do anything. You are my wife, and I'm not going to break the promise that I did on our wedding. Kuti, in truth, Chiwe, I've forgotten, but I'm sure you know. I'm sure you know. You mentioned, Kuti, I'm not going to break the vows that we did on our wedding. No matter how difficult it's going to be, it's going to be the same. Nothing is going to change. It's just me relocating, but nothing is going to change. So fast forward, he said it was now around 2018, 2019 when he started thinking of investing back home. Mind you, the family is still here in Zimbabwe. He was living there, and he said he was visiting this side at times twice a year, at times once a year, depending. And his plan was he just wanted to work at least 5 years and move back home. But you know, at times things they don't go according to plan, so he just extended his stay in the UK so as everything will be okay. So the wife started complaining, you should come back, you should come back, you should come back. But for him, it was not possible. Personally, I tried asking my brother, how then were you surviving with your family here in Zimbabwe and you being that side? Of course, I'm a woman and I know at times what happens. You just feel insecure, and at times the trust, it becomes something else. You just start imagining that your husband is actually having affairs there. But he told me that nothing of that sort was actually happening to me. I was really faithful to my wife, and I wanted the best for my family. That's why I was working so hard for them. He mentioned that he only slept for about 2 hours on a day, on a serious day. All the other time was trying to make sure that he is working for the family back home. Okay, so when he thought of doing projects here in Zimbabwe, he started by sending money for the wife to acquire land, and of which the land was found, and it was actually bought in a very good neighborhood. And they were actually happy with the place that they bought land. I'm sure you can all imagine when you are here in Zimbabwe, you are earning peanuts, you can't even afford to buy a stand. Now you are in the diaspora and you can afford to buy the stand, and buy a stand in a very good neighborhood. So it was actually a dream come true for them. So after acquiring the land, Then it was now time for them to start their building project, of which this is where everything went south. So guys, I just want to mention this, especially to those who are living in the diaspora, who are thinking of building back home, or even if you are living in Zimbabwe or wherever you are. There's a website that I saw that is called Migrant Crew, and I think I'll just write it down. It's www.migrantcrew.co.uk. So this website is actually designed by someone who is a Zimbabwean, and just because of all these issues that we have been talking about, whereby people, they are being scammed and all that, they designed this application so as to make all my contractors to be at one place, whereby they look for my contractors anonyatsogona basa vanouya. My contractor, they actually apply to be on this website, my contractor, and vanhu vanenge vachi. So kana uine project yako wada kuita, you go on that website, you just write the project that you want to do or the project that you are doing. Weinyora kuti uda kuita project yakadi, if it's a 1-bedroomed house, if it's a 2-bedroomed house, wakutoinyora kuti it's a 2-bedroomed house. Then wainyora project iyoyo wotoona kutoti macontractor aripo ari available ndeaya ndeaya and ndeaya, and all these contractors information yavo inenge ichitoripo zvekuti you can go even on their websites, on their Facebook pages, kana vainawo on my Instagram, kana vainawo wakutoona some of the works that they've done, or their portfolio wakutonyatsoiona kuti yakamira sei. Waiona wachiselecta the contractor or kuda. So let's say pane 5 macontractor, waona kuti uri kuda 1 contractor, wakutonyora wakutoselecta the contractor wakuda kuti awu ndiye wandoda kushanda naye, wakutoona mamwe ma-steps kuti wakufana kuzvifambisa sei. And that app, that website, it's actually very transparent to someone ari kuda kutoita project yake, and also macontractor munenge muchitocommunicata, muchitonyatsoonana. Kana vakuda kuzoitawo zvekuexchangewo manhamba and all that, makwanisa kuzoita, but unenge wakwanisa kunyatsoona kuti zviri kufamba sei. So personally, with all these issues dzandanga ndichisangana nadzo, vanhu vachichema vachiita sei, ndakangoona sekuti maybe it's also an application inogona kubatsira, especially those who want to build. And like what we always say, guys, it's at times, yes, it's one thing that I have introduced this. I think in my next video I will try kuti ndigozonyatsotaura navo vachinyatsoexplainawo maservices avo kuti akanyatsomira sei. But it's always good kuti munombondonyatsoiona momboitawo due diligence yenyu. But it's something chandakangoona as if it's something that is really interesting kuti ndikutoona kakutoti macontractor ndeaya, ndotomhanya kumapeji avo ndotomboona kuti ndezvipi zvavaita and all that. Kana ndikadawo kushanda navo ndakushanda navo, kana ndikasadawo ndakuregawo kushanda navo. It's something that you can do. So if you are interested, like I mentioned, it's www.migrantcrew.co.uk. So when they started doing their project of building, he then involved his friend who was living also here in Zimbabwe. And mind you, this friend is married. He's got also his family. So he involved his friend in the project. The main reason is he just thought his wife cannot do all the errands alone, because she's a woman, so at times she can easily be scammed. You know what happens, especially when you are acquiring my prices and all that. At times you can get, the prices can be inflated, or at times you get my products are poor quality, because especially they can just take advantage of that. So this is what he was trying to avoid. So he involved his friend, and the friend agreed, and they actually agreed on a fee that they were going to give the friend for all the work that he was going to do. So at first the friend was going with the wife when it was actually necessary for him to go with the wife and all that. So the house foundation done. The house is actually coming out nice, and the house that they were building, it was all sitting on a 2,000 square meter stand, and they were building a 6-bedroomed house. And it was also for his retirement, because he was thinking of, if I just finish, if I just complete this project, then there's nothing for me to worry about. There's nothing for me to worry about living in the UK. I just have to come back home and relax with my family and everything. So as they were doing this project, sending money and all that, he just started getting some phone calls from people who are here in Zimbabwe, some of the friends, of course. And they were asking him, Kuti, what's really the relationship between your wife and this friend? So since he knew that the wife was working with this guy, it didn't even click in his head that there might be something that is going on. So he just mentioned that the friend is actually helping me build my project. So at first they believed, because at these meetings the friend would actually bring also his wife, but they mentioned at times we would see some of the jokes that this friend and the wife of this one who is living in the UK would make. It wasn't make sure it wasn't really making sense to them. How can they be joking in that kind of way? So yeah, and some of the jokes he mentioned, dance like kuti chigaramapiwa, something like that. Zvozvo kuti munhu wangu andakasirwa mukadzi wangu wenhaka, something like that. That's what they told him. So at first he didn't even think it's really something important, up until even some of his family started calling. And at this point, he started suspecting, sure, there's something that is really going on. Why? Because when he started inquiring about the project, what's really happening, they were not giving him like solid answers like how they used to do before. And at times, when he sends the friend to go and do some errands, he would find out that the wife is also with the friend. So this is how we started joining the dots, connecting the dots to say, there's really something that is going on. So there's someone wakabva, can you actually investigate what's really going on with my wife? If you can, please follow her. I will pay you for that. So this person is a relative of this brother of mine who is in the UK. So he started following the wife. He started following, especially pavanenge too. They actually had my days, especially my days. Aitozikana this guy and my days asingaende kubasa, and so these are the days that you would use to go and do the shopping, some errands for this guy. So those days ndo anga kupa excuse kumba kwake kuti I'm going to do my errands for the friend, whereas in actual fact it was now my errands with the wife of the friend. So he started following, seeing what's really happening, up to the extent that he saw even some of the lodges that they were going to do their own activities. And it was mostly on weekends when he was free. And he knew almost every weekend, because remember, this guy is a family man. To his own surprise, the elder son, Wavo, started noticing also. And at times, this friend got to extent that he was now even going to their own house. Like I'm sure you can imagine the disrespect. Kuti anga kutopesera kutoenda kumba kwavo, like vana varara mausiku. So the son anga kunzwa kuti it's mausiku maneru, like midnight. You could hear some voices in the bedroom, but I'm sure you understand, you know that your father is not there, but you are hearing a male voice. So he started asking what's really going on. So at first he thought the mother would be speaking with the father over the phone, but it was not the case. That's when he decided to ask the father what's really going on. So the father didn't want to show the son that he knows something. So he played along, and this person, Wakatuma, the relative, started digging, like I said, and he found evidence. Started taking pictures, sending to the husband in the UK, and he collected all the evidence that he thought was needed, was necessary for this. So after gathering all the evidence, what he then did is remember I mentioned that he was coming back home once or twice a year. But one thing that I also loved is that they didn't really stop doing the project they were doing, but the pace that we're now using, it was now slow compared to what they were doing back then. So at this moment, the house was also at the final stages whereby they just wanted to do some finishings. And at that time, Hans, I just stopped sending money. I just wanted to see how they were going to react and what also they were going to say, because from the information that was gathered by this relative, the relative Wakatumira is someone who is in the police force. And aitoziva how to investigate my issues akadaro. So once with all the information that I had gathered, it's okay. And I noticed that some of the monies that I was sending, the main reason why this project was delayed, because remember I was sending money with the mindset equity, as soon as the house is complete, I'm moving back home with my family. But now he actually got the information that this money was actually being diverted to assist the friend and his family. Mind you, the wife doesn't know that the friend is having an affair with the wife we are in UK. So panotumirwa, when this one who is in the diaspora was sending money, the wife was giving the how do you go, was giving Munwanga Peter name Jolo, the friend, and the friend would go and utota ndaita basa nasi zvino right. Fast forward, and after all this information was gathered, everything zvapo zvinokwanisa kunyatsoti aiwa pane zviri kuitika ndava nazvo ndazvibata pictures, and it was that moment ekuti you feel kuti yay, yeah, pakaipa. And that it was that moment ekunonyatsoona kuti ma1, and some of the pictures achaitumirwa akunonyatsoona kuti havari vese vanyatsotaura kuti aiwa isusu tinodanana. Imagine your friend akatonyatsokochekera your wife, vari kufamba and vari kuita maerrands like husband and wife. That's what they were now doing. Uchinyatsoona kuti apa paloji paendwa apa iloji yakati, this time vaenda kuloji yakati. And I paid good money for this relative to gather all that information. And in my mind hauna hangofunga ndikati izadzi zere dzimwe hama dziya dzinenge dzisingatombodi kuona uchibudirira kutoti vanenge vakatokuvenga iwo as a wife, kutoti vakufarire zvachose, then vakatozoona kamukana ikaka akaubva vatoti aiwa rega tikashandise. But no, icho chakashata wacho chakashata. So and then I decided to come back, but I didn't tell the wife kuti I'm coming back. And remember, the wife and the friend vanga vaneka system kake kuti at times vanomboenda kupi kumba. So as usual, Hans, I didn't communicate. I didn't tell you that I'm coming, but we were just communicating. But you can just feel that there is now a distance, the connection, the raw connection that was there before. So he came back like what our sister did, Agatoshika, and he didn't go kumba straight. Akavaenda kune kumba kwe relative waiting kuti time idi ifambe ozonyatsoenda kumba pari pakati peusiku, because the son wavo anga vauza kuti usually ndinozonzwa ma voices pakati peusiku. So this was his plan, and I don't know, Hanzi vaitosvika otopaka anga asingade kupinza mota mukati, because izvo zvekuti vana vanongonozofunduka kuti ko mota yapinda mukati ndiyani. So Hanzi aigonongonomira pagate, then mukati opinda hake netsoka otofurwa dore kuseri odi opinda. I'm sure you know dzimba dziya dzekugeto dzekuti dzinoiswa madhoo kumashure. So this is what was happening. That was the kind of setup yanga iri pamba pavo. Guys. Yeah, so as midnight came, and ndasvika ndatotaura nemwana, because munhu wese anga ine key yekuti anokwanisa kuunloka kukinura gate pavana. Andatotaura nemaisani kuti andivhurirewo chigate, andatomudza kuti don't tell your mother kuti I'm coming. Mwana midnight yasvika ane relative yake uyo anachita ari in the police force, vasvika vavhurirwa gedhi vasvika pamba gugugugugu. Apa vatoona mota yefriend iri panze. They had seen the friend's car outside, parked outside. Knock knock, no one. Knock knock, but there was no one to open the door. I think the wife akanyuma. I think the wife akanyuma because remember, you are not even expecting anyone at that time. Then knock per door. Then so anzi the relative akavhada kushandisa force kuti vavhure chidoor, and finally they opened the door only to find out kuti they were actually naked. The husband, the wife and the friend vashitorimomba like husband and wife, they were naked. And seeing that picture, I didn't even do anything. I didn't want to say anything. I just moved out of that house and left. But the arrangement that I had is that I told my children, the choice is yours. I don't want to separate you with your mother. If you want to come and stay with me, you can come. If you don't want, it's okay. Then the wife, seeing that this is now the situation, and she tried apologizing over the phone, because at that time, after seeing that, and the only fear that I had is if I want to react to this, there was going to be someone who was going to die because of the anger that I had at that particular time. And I didn't want to commit murder. So I just thought the best way for me is to walk away, and that's exactly what he did. So the wife tried to apologize. The friend was nowhere to be seen. He just took his clothes at that particular time. He ran away, got into his car, and he left. And I think he did a good thing, because if he had remained trying to apologize and all that, at times and something bad happens. So after the wife tried to apologize, she tried going through the relatives, but there was nothing to chakugatsirisa, when there is all that evidence and the excuse that the wife was saying is, how did you want me to survive? He has been in the UK from 2007. Remember, it's between 2007 and 2008. From around that time, how did you want me to survive after all that? So that's what really happened, and the family didn't have any power to make them reconcile. Everything was done, and the husband just sent $100 to the family of the wife to say, I no longer want your child, please. And I think no, we can't do anything. So that's how they divorced, and he started filing the divorce papers. And in the divorce papers, he was saying he made sure the wife was not even going to get anything. But I don't know, personally, I feel at least he was supposed to give the wife something, because yes, it was actually betrayal. But I think when we make these decisions of moving back, of relocating from Zimbabwe, going to the diaspora, we don't know what will be happening. We don't know what will come up. And I think at times it's actually his words, whereby he's saying, I didn't even have any affair in the UK. I was just living as a faithful man and all that. But at times we don't really know what will be happening. Maybe he was also having an affair, and maybe it's just unfortunate that the wife was caught in the act and all that. But yeah, it's really something else. But yeah, so the house, he completed the house alone, and right now he made his kids to relocate. These kids, they are now in the UK, and the wife is now living here in Zimbabwe alone. And the friend, the friend also divorced with his wife after she had all this that had happened. But surprisingly, these two, they are not even together. but they are now given the chance to do whatever that they were doing without anyone disturbing them or what, but they can't do that because uyakasiwa nemukadzi, uyakasiwa newake murume, but havachakwanise kuita zvavaita. So I think it's those small things that we do, and uchifunga kuti ndiri kugona, but wozoona kuti wasvikanganisira. But at the same time, now the husband, this guy is saying akazotora vana akaenda navo ku-UK, but this is something that he could have done back then, making his family, his wife and his kids go to the UK. Maybe as we speak, something like this would not have happened. It's just me thinking, I don't know, but this is what I think. But yeah, everything happens for a reason in life, and yeah. So this is what people are going through, especially those who are in the UK, those who are in the diaspora. This is what they are facing, especially with doing my projects. Maybe if he had not involved his friend in the building project, maybe also this thing could not have happened. Maybe they could have been a happy family after all, but because he also involved his friend in the project, everything went south. But yeah, we just encourage people to be faithful to their partners, or encourage people to do their own things, and not to trust people. If you have got your wife back home, if you want, make her do all the errands for you. Don't undermine their power. Don't undermine what they can do, because this is what can happen after you undermine someone. So guys, this is all that we had for today, and I hope you really enjoyed watching this video. Please don't hesitate. Just write what you think of this story in the comment section. And like I said, he will be in the comment section commenting and seeing what you'll be writing. And yeah, thank you so much. Up until next time, cheers.